Knicks family, what's popping? We just watched the Knicks complete a beautiful comeback. They stormed back, got a nice victory, led by Emmanuel Mudiay. I know I'm a couple hours late. Let's go, though. Peace. Knicks family, what's popping? What's going on with you? I'm glad to see you guys. I'm here in the building. I'm glad you guys are here in the building with me. The Knicks completed a comeback versus the Charlotte Hornets. And very nice comeback. Great, nice comeback. You know what I mean? B-baller for real. You said the Tank crew ain't liking my smile right now. That's the truth. Ain't that the truth? They definitely not liking my smile right now. You know what I mean? I'm glad we pulled this win out. I like to see wins like this. This is exactly what we want to see from the Knicks. Even if you are someone that supports the tank, which obviously I don't support tanking. I want to see the Knicks play well. That's it. Win or lose, I want to see them play well. I want to see them develop. I want to see them grow as a team. But even if you support the tank, and if that's what it is that you want to do, you got to be excited when the Knicks pull out and do something good. I didn't see the game tonight, so I don't really know all of the numbers. I did just watch the fourth quarter and overtime. I was at my own basketball game that got pushed back like an hour. It got pushed back an hour because the team, they missed time, their travel, so they were like an hour late. So things just got all mixed up. But anyway, nice comeback by the Knicks. Down 21 points at the most, down 16 points in the fourth quarter, 14 points in the fourth quarter, whatever it was. Emmanuel Mudiay helped to storm us back, bring us back. So definitely a nice comeback. Now, the story of the game, I'm going to ask you guys to tell me the story of the game because I don't know the story of the game. Right? B-baller for real. You said, Sim, it looks like Fizz implemented a zone defense and it worked. You know what? It is crazy because I didn't see the game, but if that's what he did, I was actually thinking about that last night. I was thinking about, of course, you can't do it in the NBA on a regular basis, because teams will start to pick it apart. But I was thinking about running a zone defense to help us deal with this screen and roll. I really have to look at the game and see what's going on. But if the zone defense did it, that's great. Now, can you do that? Can you do it on long term? Maybe not. Maybe not. But a zone defense can help deal with that second half. With that pick and roll stuff. I got Guillermo in the chat. I'm gonna talk to Guillermo a little bit, and then we're gonna look at the box scores and all that good stuff. I'm sure you guys already looked at it, but we'll look at it again. All right, Guillermo, what's popping, man?
What's good, Sim?
I'm chilling.
I was actually at a basketball game too, so I was trying to catch up. I just finished the first half, so okay. I don't have the full scope, but I see the box score. Mudiay had a career high.
Yeah.
14 for 21, 1 for 4 from 3-point line, 5 for 6 for free throws.
Yep, 34 points, 8 assists tonight.
Yeah, he looked good, man. From the highlights I'm looking at, he looked pretty damn good, man. So I saw that first half, Sam. It was ugly. I mean, our 3-point defense, especially in the corner, was just awful. Batum was killing us. Even Monk before I think he got hurt or something. But I'll let you guys talk in the chat room as I'm still trying to catch up, but I like what I saw from the flashes from Knox early on, and Mudiay definitely had a great game, it seems like. So.
Yeah. I watched some of the fourth quarter and the overtime, and it looks like Mudiay was on fire. 20 points between the fourth quarter and overtime.
And Cornett too had 30
points.
I'm not saying Cornett's the center of the future, but if we can have a big man who can kind of space out the floor, so that would be really, really helpful going forward because, big man Mitchell and Cantor, they really can't space the floor. Cantor could have shot here and there, but if we can have a big man who can kind of pick and pop, I think that will help. Even our point guards, when you think about KP coming back, that will help definitely. It'll help us. It won't be KP, but it'll help us to kind of like get a feel for what we'll be doing in the future. So, I like what I saw from at least from the box score, at least.
Okay, all right. And I gotta get you unmuted. There you go. What's popping, man? Did you watch the game?
Yeah, I got a chance. I watched like from the middle of the third quarter to the end. So
okay, and what did you see? I know that there's some people talking about saying that the Knicks played a little bit of zone. That
yeah, that was interesting. You don't see too much zone in the NBA,
right?
But it worked because it kept Kimba out of the paint. So it worked. It kind of threw Charlotte off. Like I think if Charlotte had like some time to game plan against it, they would have killed us in the zone. But because we kind of threw them off and they weren't expecting it, it worked.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah,
and that's the whole reason why you can't rely on a zone long term in the NBA, in my opinion. Teams are going to game plan for it easily, right? They're going to game plan for it, and they'll be able to eventually pick it apart.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They're professional. They shoot the ball too well, and they pass too well to
right. They swing the ball
for a zone to stop them.
Right. They swing the ball too well, and they pass too well, and they shoot too well. Not that every zone is going to be, leave you open for threes, but eventually a team will pick it apart. But if you do it every once in a while to slow the team down, confuse them a little bit, it can help in the NBA, in my opinion.
Yeah. For short spurt, it worked tonight though. It worked. And Mudiay had his bi-weekly all-star performance. So it's like he has one of these performances like every other week.
Uh-huh.
But man, I'll take it. I mean, he was on tonight. And we needed it. We need every point, every bucket. So shout out to Mudiay. Yeah, I mean, this Knicks team is so like you can't pick it. You can't guess. You never know what you're gonna get. It's like what Forrest Gump said, life is like a box of chocolates, man. That's this Knicks team. You really never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's the truth. You don't know what you're gonna get on a regular basis, but when you have a young team, I guess that's what it's gonna be like when you have a young team. You never know what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? You never know what you're gonna get. Yeah. Let me get to this phone call real quick. All right. Caller, you on live with another but Knicks. This is Rob the Knick.
Hey, I'm on, y'all. Hey, turn that down real quick. Hey, Sin, this is your man Rob the Knick.
What's popping, bro?
Fresh out of Charlotte, just watching the game.
Okay, you was at the game.
And hey, look, let me just tell all the faculty and the family got picks and everything to prove it. Okay. And look, straight front row. Only thing I want to say is this here. Chris there be coaching his A off. He be doing his thing. Even in the little huddles. Now, look, like I said, I got all the picks. I'm not close. I'm 2 rows off.
Okay.
Me and my peoples, we coming back from Charlotte right now.
All right.
And let me tell you something. Defense, the way that they play defense tonight in person, to me, it seems like everybody is trying. But it's one thing that I'm going to have to bear down and say. What Mark was saying about Cantor, in real life, you really see it.
Right.
When Cornett came into the game, I was with it in the middle of a bunch of Charlotte fans, and I said, look, he missed that first three, but he got comfortable when he grabbed that rebound. He shot 2 straight threes right after that. And him and Robinson, look, Cantor, I'm really feeling with his rebounding and everything, I'm comfortable getting rid of. We can do that. If anything got to leave, when you see this thing personally up close, it looks a whole lot different. Now, I got to say, I got to bear witness. Mark is right about Cantor.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like his eyes is in another direction when the player's going on right in front of him. And this is the first time I witnessed it. His point scoring and the rebounds that he gets. Look, court awareness is hell. And I really looked at that today and I seen it for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Look, he's not aware at anything on the court. He's just not aware. He does what he wants to do. He wants to rebound, he rebounds. But it seems like he has a learning disability about defense. And I'm telling you, up close, it looked like that. It really did. I was looking at this man. I was looking at this grown man like this here, man, like, you don't see that?
Well,
really, you don't see that.
Well, a lot is always going to come down to your basketball IQ, and just
he has none of that, Sam. He has none of that.
Your defensive
really
basketball IQ. It's going to come down to that. You know what I mean?
And look, and I looked at Timmy close because I gave you a lot. I gave the chat a lot about Timmy. And Timmy out there, to me, when I see him this close up, I never seen him this close. Like, look, first NBA game, this close like this.
Right.
And Timmy is like this here. Timmy is still learning. But you can look at it and say, look, don't give up. Look, I would tell the chat just like this here. Front row looking at Tim like this. Don't give up like that. Don't give up on him like that because he's learning on the way. I know he's the oldest one.
Well. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this though. Right, I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit. Well, I don't know if I'm playing devil's advocate, right? But why is it that at the same exact age, Timmy is still learning, but Cantor's not?
Well, I look at it like this here. It's like why Frank is not learning like the dude in Dallas. It's a different type of mindset, the way that they approach the game. That's the only thing I can say.
Well, I don't think that Frank is not learning. Like, I mean, he may not be playing, he may not be scoring the points that Dennis Smith Jr. is scoring. People have different games or whatever. I would say that Frank is learning. Clearly, he's learning, right? You see he suffered a injury or whatever tonight, didn't return to the game. But clearly he's learning. The benching, I guess, helped him. We don't know. I mean, I guess it helped him. But it gets me though. I mean, I understand everything about, what you say about Cantor, and maybe Tim Hardaway still is learning, but I just don't understand why it's different for Timmy and it's different for the two if they're both the same age. As a matter of fact, Cantor's had less coaching than Timmy, much less coaching than Timmy. Cantor never played in college.
Okay, Sam, this only thing I want to say about it. Not trying to shoot. I'm just saying that, like, only thing I was saying was, like, the mindset of what they play with.
Okay.
It's just different mindsets. Now, I'm just saying, Timmy, on the defensive end right there, he's struggling. He's struggling with his shot, but he's still learning, too. The whole team is young. We won today, and I'm glad I went down there to go see this game today. We won on the comeback and everything. But the whole thing that we need to always concentrate, whether we win or lose, is one thing.
Okay.
Player development.
That's it. I feel
this is what we're about. We won. Victory should be, look, the least that we talked about. When this show open up, it should be that, look, let's talk about who developed today.
Well, I mean, but, winning is... winning and losing, it's a part of development, right? Because now you can point to certain things, say, see, if you do these things, we can be successful. You know what I mean? Like, if you're always winning is very important, in my opinion, because if you're constantly,
I agree.
Yeah, if you're constantly preaching to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that, but you never see the results, then it starts to say, well, we're doing these things, coach, but we're not seeing the results. So sometimes you got to see the results, right? You got to see the results.
But look, Sims, we still on when we thought in the summer how many games we thought we will win. So we already done seen what we was about to do with this team because everybody said in between 25, maybe 25 wins.
I get it.
It looked like we on what we thought.
I get it. Hey, I'm gonna let you go.
So we all have to say, like, look, okay, this is what it is.
Yeah.
We gonna all love a victory.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we gonna do. But
right.
look, if it's player development and we all believe in that, let's talk about that first.
Well, I mean,
we're
gonna talk. We always gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about what players do, this and that. Hey, Rob, I'm gonna let you go, man, so we can get other calls on. All right.
Okay. No doubt.
All right. Peace.
Hey, peace to the chat.
And but see, I see who's marking the chat. Saying. Whatever he's saying about Cantor, anytime anybody gives who's Mark some credit, Mark is going to be all over it. He's going to be happy that somebody gave him some credit. But bottom line is, we get a lot of people that pick and choose who they want to give credit to and who they do not want to give credit to. Right? I mean, I just feel, I understand that Cantor has his problems on the defensive end of the floor. I get that. So does Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't understand why someone would say, that Timmy is still learning, but Cantor is not still learning. If Timmy can still be learning at 26, then so can Cantor still be learning at 26. Maybe even Cantor more so, right? Maybe even Cantor more so, because Cantor never played college basketball. Everybody knows what happened, with the University of Kentucky. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, right? I try as hard as I can. Of course, I have people that I like, and I see certain skill sets that I like, and I want to, and so I like those players with certain skill sets that I like. But I'm gonna give everyone a fair shake. The reason why I'm hard on Tim Hardaway Jr. is because he's been in the league for a while. The same reason that I'll be hard on Cantor for not being able to play defense or deal with the screen and roll and those type of things. Some people, some people that say that, like you said, Cantor looks lost, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he did close up look lost while he was out there. Maybe he didn't. I mean, maybe he did. But what I'm saying is, if the goose is good, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If Tim Hardaway is still developing, then it's possible that Cantor can still be developing as well. That's all that I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because Tim Hardaway is just as bad on defenses and as Cantor, right? And people can look and say, well, this person is trying. Maybe this person ain't trying. I don't believe that Cantor is not trying. I think that he's physically incapable of doing certain things. You know what I mean? And that holds him back, right? That's what I'm saying. But let's be fair to everyone. Let's be fair to everyone. If one person is still developing, then maybe someone else can still be developing. Do I think they're both still developing? Personally, do I think they're both still developing? Maybe in some ways, but both of them are very close to being the player that they're going to be for their career. They're both approaching that age. When you get to about 28 years old, you're that player. Both of them, in my opinion, I don't think they're going to change much between now and the time they're 28. Within the next 2 years, both Tim Hardaway Jr. and Enes Kanter, in my opinion, are going to be the exact same player that they are right now. They may develop a little bit here or there, but I think they're both going to be the exact same player. That's all I'm saying in that aspect. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
Hey, Sam, it's Oscar.
Oscar, what's going on with you, man? How you feeling?
Pretty good. I tried to call Knicks Fan TV because he was on earlier, and he literally would not let me on because my voice was too young.
Oh.
So, his guy was like, "You're a prank caller." So I came here.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming here. We know who you are, Oscar, so, we're going to let you on.
Thanks. So just a couple points about the game. Mudiay has clearly shown that, he has the capability to do this. I remember the Bucks game. It's pretty similar game. It went to overtime. He played really well. I feel like he can be a real NBA point guard. He just needs an identity because right now he's showing flashes, but he's not consistently doing something well.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if he wants to become a like a quality point guard off the bench or starting. He just needs to have his thing. He's probably not going to be a jumper. It has looked better, but I'd say maybe getting to the rim. So if he can just finish a bit better, I feel like that'd really help him.
Yeah, I agree with you. If he can finish like he did tonight on a consistent basis, he'll be
right.
Yeah, he'll be possibly what teams thought that he would be coming into the NBA, right?
Yeah. Another thing, I feel like Knox. I mean, obviously the second half was not great, but what do you have, like 19 in the first half? He missed two shots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously he's a rookie. We can't expect that for two halves, but just getting that, it's so encouraging, especially seeing the 33% from the field for a few games. All the people saying he was soft, and then him playing like 42 minutes or 41 minutes or whatever. Like, it's nice to see that he's really like silencing all the critics, and he might not be rookie of the year, but I mean, it's definitely a step in the right direction.
That's right, and you know what? He doesn't even have to be rookie of the year. We have to look from the beginning of the season. He had, he twisted his ankle a little bit. I'm sure that he was, still favoring his ankle, a little bit. He missed some time, so coming back, he probably needed to get back in shape.
Absolutely, yeah.
All those things, and then still get used to the speed of the NBA game.
It was definitely tough for him, like having to do both of those things, because he really didn't play much before the injury. It was like 3 games, right?
Right. Yeah, like 3 games.
He was pretty good. Like, I was at that game against the Nets. He had he played pretty well. He had like 15 points. So I think coming back from the injury and also like developing like to the NBA definitely was a struggle for him, but now he's shooting better, more active defensively, like more confident. I feel like it's a really good kind of step in the right direction.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Hazonia, just go overseas, go something. Like, I don't want him on this team. When he touches the ball and drives, I know he's not. If he's just gonna he's gonna miss a layup.
It's gonna make him. It's gonna do something.
He doesn't just him and Timmy, like when they get the ball, I don't even look. I know the possession's over. Like,
yeah.
They don't. Just so frustrating to see a young team with no one is an above-average starter. You can't make a case for anyone on that team being an above-average starter, and KP, but
KP when he's here, when he
right.
gets back, of course.
And so the fact that there should be any ball-dominant players on this entire team is just like, we're a young team. We should spread the ball, just get all of our talent developing and use at the same time. Timmy thinks he's a top 20 player just because he's averaging in the low 20s on like terrible efficiency. Like, Fizdale needs to talk to him. It's getting bad. Like, he thinks he can throw up 25 shots a night, score 21, and like still be thought of as a decent NBA player. It's just not okay.
Yeah.
Bench him, talk to him, do something.
Yeah, you know what? I think most people agree with you, man. It gets frustrating seeing Timmy out there, chuck up shots, shooting bricks up every night, without a conscience, and being treated as if he is a star, like, as if he is a franchise type of player, and he just isn't. Yeah. He just is not that.
It's frustrating because he shows the ability to be like a plus offensive player, like maybe not a starter, but a good bench player. Like, he can hit threes if he doesn't take 12 a game. He can get to the basket if he's not, like driving and never kicking out. Like, he can still be a productive offensive player, but just not in this role.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. 100%. Yeah. How's school going for you?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. I have a lot of tests next week. So.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Next week is midterm week, right? You got midterms or whatever coming up next week, so I'm sure it's been a busy week of study this week, so you can knock those midterms out next week.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. Any plans for the weekend for you?
Study.
Study? Well, I guess so. Got those midterms.
Yeah.
Got to study. Yeah. All right. Well, Oscar, ace those midterms for us, man. Make sure you ace them.
Yep. Thanks for taking my call.
I appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right. Peace. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's our guy Oscar, 12-year-old prodigy. knows a lot about basketball. I think that kid, he might be a GM one day. Really, he might be a GM one day. Let's go over the matchups. Look at the matchup and look at the box scores real quick. And then we'll get back to our video chat and talk a little bit about Mudiay, Trill's contract. We're going to talk about Luke Cornett. So let's get into it just a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's game, let's look at the matchups real fast. The Knicks were down big after the first quarter, 33-16. This has been a problem over the last however many games. The Knicks just aren't able to start well. Don't know what it is. I'm dealing with the same thing with my girls' basketball team. For whatever reason, we don't start well. We have a hard time getting started, getting into the groove. And I think what I'm going to do, and then in the second half, because we're a little bit more focused on trying to make a comeback, we play better. We played much better in the second half. So what I'm going to do with my girls is we're going to begin to have a carrot out there in the beginning of the game. We're going to do something, say, we need to score the first 10 points. Or we need to get to 10 before the other team gets to 10, or we're going to run 10 suicides. Something. Right? So maybe the Knicks need a focal point, something to focus on in the beginning of games. I don't know. But we haven't been able to come out strong. We've been coming out sluggish to start games. And it's got to change because you're never going to be able to. We completed the comeback tonight, but that's not going to be something that's happening on a regular basis, especially with our team, a team that struggles to score the way that we struggle to score. But anywho, the Knicks were down 33-16 in the first quarter. Second quarter, the Knicks played better. We still gave up, we played better on the offensive side of the ball, but we still gave up 39 points in the quarter. Right, down 19 points at half. We came out, played much better in the third. We were up 25-21. Of course, the fourth quarter, we outscored the Charlotte Hornets by 15 points in the fourth quarter. Sent the game into overtime, and then we won in overtime by 2 points. So we won the game 126-124. Emmanuel Mudiay led us there. Emmanuel Mudiay, between the fourth quarter and overtime, scored 20 points. Between that fourth quarter and overtime. Big, nice, beautiful game by the kid, Emmanuel Mudiay, man. Look, just a few days ago, we were complaining that Mudiay had fallen off, right? Some people, not everyone. And I was kind of like, well, I don't know if he was exactly falling off, but he had 16.7 rebounds, 6 assists, and people were like, he's kind of falling off. Right? But look what, they're saying he was falling off, but he was falling off and still 16, 7, and 6. Maybe Mudiay switched, maybe he flipped the switch. Maybe it really has flipped on for him. I don't know. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But maybe it flipped on for him. Right? By the way, my daughter had a career night tonight as well. We didn't end up winning the game, but she had a career night. 23 points, 12 rebounds tonight. She was killing it. She basically took over the third quarter, so big shout out to her. Anyway, let's move on. Talk about the game. The Knicks had a 6-point lead. The biggest lead for the Charlotte Hornets was 21. The Knicks, 48 rebounds tonight. We lost the rebounding battle. 51 for the Charlotte Hornets. We actually had 27 assists tonight. Charlotte Hornets, 38 assists. Knicks had 11 steals, 8 blocks. The Hornets, 7 steals, 5 blocks. The Knicks only had 10 turnovers. The Hornets had 16 turnovers tonight. The Knicks shot 48% from the field. 48% from the field. Hornets, 47.1%. The Knicks hit at a 35.3% clip from the three-point line. The Hornets were at 41.7%. The Knicks shot a lowly 65% from the free throw line, but we got there 31 times. The Hornets Only got to the line 10 times. Only 10 times. So this is one of your better games by the New York Knicks. One of your better games by the Knicks. I'd love to see these kind of stat lines every night, but one of the better games. And everyone out there saying, giving a shout out to my daughter for her game tonight. Thank you. I'm sure she appreciates it. She was out there. She was definitely out there working. She was definitely out there working. All right. Let's take a look at the box scores. Kevin Knox tonight, 20 points, 7 rebounds. Had most of his game was in the first half. 20 points. I'm sorry, not 7 rebounds. 20 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Noah Vonleh, 15 points, 11 rebounds. Inez Cantor, 15 points and 8 rebounds. Tim Hardaway Jr., 12 points. Shot less tonight. Because Mudiay was hot. Shot less tonight. He was 12 points, 2 rebounds. Emmanuel Mudiay, 34 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, and he had 3 turnovers. Courtney Lee, 7 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Frank Ntilikina, 14 points. Only played 14 minutes went out with an ankle injury. 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. 2 turnovers, 2 steals, 1 block. Mitchell Robinson played 7 minutes, 2 points, 1 rebound. Mario Hezonja played 12 minutes, had 5 points, 3 rebounds. Luke Cornett and, David Fisdale let Luke Cornett know that he's giving him a chance. He's going to give him a chance to get in to prove that he can play. And he wants to just look at some things and see how to use them. He had 13 points and 6 rebounds tonight. If we can begin to get this kind of production from Luke Cornett, it's going to do wonders for us on the offensive side of the floor. From the way that we'd be able to space the floor and open up penetration lanes. It'll do wonders for us. Wonders for us. And Luke Cornett, if Luke Cornett can get in the game and play some 5 for us on the offensive side of the floor and the defensive side of the floor, Luke can block some shots. And he can get rebounds, but he can block shots. So let's see where this goes. We're going to talk about Luke Cornett in just a little bit. Now, I want to talk about Emmanuel Mudiay. All right, of course, like we just said tonight. Emmanuel Mudiay, 34 points, 8 assists. Played one of his best games as a professional in the NBA. I want to know from you, has Mudiay, by the time we get to the end of the season, will you be able to say Mudiay has arrived? Would you be able to say that? That's what I want to know from you. We see him growing. We see him developing. Obviously, he needed to get in shape, right? He needed to get in shape. You can look at Mudiay. I would like to see Mudiay. I think in order for Mudiay, it's just my opinion, in order for Mudiay to become the peak version of himself, he needs to really get in the gym and get his body cut up. And being such supreme, he strikes me as the kind of guy. You have some players who they're just in shape. They just have endurance. They can just go. I've seen players that don't even. I knew this dude, man. He actually went to Georgetown for a little while. This was way back in the 80s. I was a little kid. He was nice around the way. He went to Georgetown. His name is Stacey O'Neal. You can look it up. And I don't know everything that happened with his career and everything at Georgetown, but he's little dude. Stacey is like, I think Stacey is maybe 5'8", and this dude just had endurance. Just had endurance. Okay, he just had endurance, and he, as I got 16, 17 years old, and I was going to parks where I lived, to hoop. You know, we'd get out there 7 o'clock in the morning and hoop until, you know, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night on Saturdays and things like that. Just all day long with different teams and just 50, 60 players coming through to play games. But anyway, he'd be at the court and he'd smoke cigarettes, drink beer, and then get out there and hoop. And he'd run through everybody. He just had natural endurance. And not to mention, he did it in Timbs. And listen, this is no lie. This is no lie. This is straight up the truth. He just had the natural endurance. You know what I'm saying? That some people just don't have. Mudiay strikes me as one of those people that does not have that natural endurance. And he really needs to work at it. Right? He still that's how I see from him. That's what I see from him. So he needs to be in supreme shape. He really needs to be that guy that, you know, has a strict diet, in my opinion. Just continues to work hard over the summer, so that he just stays there, just keeps that kind of shape. If he does that, and I seen Mark say he's not a starting point guard. You could be right. I don't know. I want to know you guys' opinion. Could he be a starter? Could Mudiay be the guy? Could he be the guy? He's 22 years old now. This is the thing. This is so funny. You know, if Mudiay was drafted this year, he's 22 years old. Alonzo Trier is older than Emmanuel Mudiay. Right? Well, they're both the same age. Alonzo Trier is going to be 23 next month. Right? Everyone will look at Emmanuel Mudiay, and I'm not going to lie. I thought Mudiay's, I thought he was on the verge. Well, he probably was on the verge of being out the league. And now I think he's starting to prove to people that he still has a lot of value left in this league. Right? And I was down on him. I'm not going to lie. I thought that he was behind Trey Burke and Frank Ntilikina. I thought he was going to be the third guy. Right? He's proven me wrong. I'm glad that he's proven me wrong. Right? Because I was high. I was very high on Mudiay coming from China. I wanted to draft Mudiay. And then I was obviously, and I'm still obviously glad that we got KP over Mudiay. But I just wonder if Mudiay really put some effort into being in shape, taking care of his body, can he be the guy? Can he develop into a very effective starting point guard in the NBA? Right? If you say yes, please tell me why. If you say no, please tell me why. I want to know. I want to know what you're thinking. Because, you know, the kid still has time. Emmanuel Mudiay is 22 years old. He'll turn 23 in March. Right? And I just, like I was saying earlier, I find it funny because everyone looks at Alonzo Trier and says, Alonzo Trier has so much upside, which he does. So much talent, which he does. I'm not knocking Alonzo Trier. I love Zoe. But you'll look, because Zoe's a rookie this year, everyone will look at Alonzo Trier and say, oh man, this guy's upside is off the charts. He's going to be this, and this. But then you look at Mudiay, because he's been in the league for 4 years, and say, he can't be whatever. And forget about the fact that he's actually younger than Alonzo Trier. Right? You know, what do you guys think? He's actually younger than Zoe. Right? And, you know, I want to see, obviously, if he can continue to do what he's doing, and if he can discipline himself to be the type of player that we all hope that he can be. Right? So I want you to tell me. I want you to let me know. All right, I'm going to start with this call, and then I'm going to get to the video chat. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping with you?
Yo, what's good, Sam?
I'm chilling, man. We're talking about Emmanuel Mudiay.
Yeah. I feel that, man. Hey, check this out. I don't know how many Knicks fans are gonna admit this, but when we first drafted KP, I wanted us to draft Mudiay.
Yes, I did too.
Like, you know what I mean? Just because I knew nothing about KP or whatever, but, like, you know what I'm saying? I saw highlights from Mudiay or whatever, and I thought, like, hey, this guy might need to be our point guard. But in the long run, we got him anyway, so you know what?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've told... Right. Listen, I've told the story before. You know, I wanted Mudiay. I looked at video of KP, and in my heart of hearts, I knew Phil Jackson was gonna draft KP. I just knew it. I just knew he was gonna. I watched him, and I was like, you know, he's gonna fit what Phil Jackson's, what he pictures his big man to be in a triangle. KP is that guy, and I felt it in my heart that we were gonna draft him, but I really did want to get Mudiay. And when they said Kristaps Porzingis, I dropped my face into my hands. I was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? Not that I didn't like what I seen from KP. I just, you know, I just wasn't sure what he was gonna do. Obviously, when he came into the league, I was like, you know, when he started playing the summer league, I was like, okay, we got something going on. You know what I mean?
I think most people slept on that, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of Knicks fans out there that won't admit it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm one of them that I will admit it. I wanted us to draft Mudiay or whatever, but we didn't. But also, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think about Mr. Cornett getting some minutes now?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I'm glad he's getting some minutes now. You know, I want to see what it is that he can. I want to see if he can bring a new dimension to this offense.
Yeah, I haven't seen much from the brother, but, like, you know what I mean? I'm interested to see what he's going to bring to the table. If he's going to, like, you know what I'm saying? If he's going to bring anything that we need to have, you know? Yeah.
And, yeah, we'll see, man.
Oh, yo, I'm just mad they got rid of my boy Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Hey, man, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Ron Baker's gonna catch on somewhere at some point. I think he will.
Yo, as what's his name is Clyde say, Ron Baker to the shot maker.
Yeah, he'll catch on someplace. I think he's gonna catch on someplace. You know, I can see him. You know, some injuries happen throughout the league. Somebody needs, you know, some depth. I think he'll catch on somewhere, and there'll be some team, a grinded out type of team that says, you know what, we can use this guy for 10 minutes a game. I think it'll happen. I really do.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I just want to say, yo, peace to the chat, all my Knicks family, and yo, I'll be back in for the rest of the stream and stuff like that. City for real in the comments, and yo,
all right,
peace out.
Appreciate you, my brother. Peace. All right, let's get to the video chat, man. We got Who's Marking here now. Gormo still in here. We got Aunt G. I want to get you guys. Your take on Mudiay, man. Mark, I'm gonna start with you. You say you don't think he'll be a starting point guard in the league. Tell me why.
Not if he was overseas Mudiay, then that's a different story. Sometimes when you watch a player, you know, because it's his inconsistency that is troubling. He's not consistent enough for him to be a starting guard. You can get around the league. A lot of these guards are very consistent in what they do. Like for say, you got the kid in Denver, Murray. What he does consistently is shoot, penetrate, and dish the ball well. You have Mike Conley. He's offensive guard. He can shoot the three very well and make plays. Mudiay is just shaky. You don't know what he's going to give you from night to night basis. So how can he be a starting guard, especially in New York City?
Because he's 22 years old and he still has time to grow.
Yeah, but he's 22 years old. But it's a difference when you get a player It's just like Damian Lillard. He was 22 years old. He was 22 years old, I think, when he came in the league. But you've seen the impact. He had more impact. But see, they don't have that type of impact that the guards got.
But check this out. But this is where I think you might have on some rose-colored glasses when you're looking at someone like Damian Lillard. And here's why I say that. Because you seen him come into the league, like you just said. We don't, I can look it up. I can check it out. But let's say he was 22 when he came into the league. And then he came into the league and he's doing whatever he was doing, right? If this was Emmanuel Mudiay's first year in the league right now, if he came in at the same age as Damian Lillard at 22, if that's when Damian Lillard came into the league, we'd have to confirm that. But if this was Emmanuel Mudiay's first year, I think Knicks fans would be salivating right now and saying this guy could potentially be our point guard for the future. I think that would be happening. If this was his first year in the NBA, the only thing you knew from him was, maybe something in college or wherever he was, and this was his first year, he was a rookie this year, people would be salivating and say, this guy could be our future point guard. But because he's been in the league for 4 years,
yeah, that's a big thing. Because
we're looking at it differently.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying because he's been in the league for 4 years, we're looking at it differently. So right now, we're not taking into account that he's 22 years old and maybe he had to go through some maturing. Maybe he had to go through some maturing.
Okay.
For the first few years in the league. I don't know.
Okay. Do you think he has any type of impact where he could? He took over a game tonight. Yeah, that was like a flash of overseas Mudiay. That's what comes from that, because overseas he played like a starter. Do you, in all honesty, do you think he can for the New York Knicks as a starting guard in this league?
You said, do I think that he what? Say that again. You broke up a little bit.
Do you think he can start for the New York Knicks?
You mean
as a starting guard?
You mean when they have a good team? Because he's starting for the Knicks now. You mean when they have a good team?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I think we have to let this year live out. See, because check this out. The one thing that I think people need to understand, right, is while Mudiay is in shape. He's in decent basketball shape right now, so they say. It still takes a long time for you to get in the type of tip-top shape for you to really excel. And you can't really have those kind of breaks that I think Mudiay might take. He reminds me of, you remember when Raymond Felton was with the Knicks, right? And it would take all of training camp in the first however many games, however many months of the season for him to get in shape. He always came back out of shape, right? Because, Mudiay reminds me, seems like he has those kind of habits. So, he's while he was in Denver, he was on the bench. He didn't stay in shape, right? Okay. So now he's in shape, but he's still not, in my opinion, I don't think, tip-top shape to where he can just go, because to me that takes a while. You have to, the season is over, maybe you take you take a couple weeks off, but then you right back at it. You know what I'm saying? Getting in shape, working on your conditioning, working on your endurance. I think we need to see that kind of work ethic from him in order for him to be the kind of guy that we hope he can be.
Listen, one thing about Felton where this is kind of shaky, because wherever Felton was from the Bobcats, he was consistent. You knew he was going to give you every night, almost 15 and almost 6 assists. You knew he was going to drive and kick and other teammates. And he was decent on defense. He was never bad on defense. He's not like Mudiay. Raymond Felton was a consistent ball player and still is to this day when he get minutes for OKC. He does a lot of stuff on the floor.
He does. I like Raymond Felton when he's in.
Now, if Mudiay was Raymond Felton, consistent like that, he can. If we had a better point guard, he could take control. But I just don't think he's a starting guard. Okay. Not for the New York Knicks. Personally, me. Not for the New York Knicks.
I mean, he's been kind of consistent so far this season.
Like I said, it's like bipolar. It's like you don't know. Like he would give you 16-7, but what did that 16-7 really do? Did it really impact the game? Because as a point guard, you have to have the ability to impact the game, because you can watch Chris Paul sometimes. He don't even have to score over 10 points, and that boy impacts the game. That's what you want from your point guard. You want him to impact the game so well. Even if he don't score, but just him being on the floor, you want him to impact the game. And I don't think Mudiay has that yet.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, yeah is the word.
Yeah.
Because he's 22 years old. So, like I said, if he was a rookie this year, I think people would be like fiending over him right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, and the thing is, when we have a big that can space the floor, when he has space on the floor, he gets a lot, because the way he keeps his dribbling and everything, he's very good at that. When he gets space, he does well is do pass the ball, but he needs that.
Breaking up on me, Mark. Breaking up on me. Guillermo, what do you think?
Good,
man?
Sam.
What do you think?
Yeah, man, I agree with you, Sam. You got to take into account, like you said, man, this kid was coming into the league now, and he was showing us what he's doing now. People would be like, oh my gosh, this dude has so much potential. You got to take into account, a lot of these kids, they're not getting the AAU coaching is, a lot of these places is trash. It's just to make you look good in front of scouts and whatnot. They're not teaching you fundamentals. And then if you go to college, which he didn't, you're there maybe one and done. A lot of college programs, unless you go to something that's, one of the smaller programs, maybe get some good tutoring or tutelage, fall under good tutelage or whatever. A guy like Mudiay, he went to China, so he really got no coaching. So think about this. All those years as a young kid, he wasn't in college, and he really didn't get strong formal coaching. I'm pretty sure he didn't get it in high school because he was dominating guys in high school. So you got to give, and I'm not saying he's going to be a starting point guard, but when people say, I'm not coming at you, Mark, no, but I'm when people say like, oh, he can't be a starting guard for New York Knicks, it's like we don't have like a recent history of like the greatest guards and some type of pedigree. Like we're building from the ground up. So look, if he does the right things, like Sim, this is the second time that I've seen, and yes, I agree with Mark, he's inconsistent. I've seen games where it's like he's making just lazy, stupid passes.
Right.
It's like, this, like, how you talk about there's some guys who just have great endurance. There's some guys I play with that when the game gets going and they get the adrenaline up, they become dumber. So they only complain like one way because it's like, I don't think enough blood gets to their brain. And Mudiay does that at times. But Sim, this is the second time I've seen in a big game where he brought us back. Remember that Grizzlies game? He was scoring in the fourth quarter like he was a superstar. And I'm not talking about taking Hardaway type shots. He was making smart attacking plays to the basket, being aggressive, biting his guy, knowing that his guy has to concede because, hey, it's crunch time. I don't want to get fouled. So I'm gonna concede on this drive that Mudiay is taking to the left. Or, I'm gonna give him a little space. Oh crap, he hit a shot on me. And those little things, I'm not saying Mudiay is as smart as I'm not saying it's Chris Paul, but you see flashes of like, maybe there's something there because he's playing with a smart aggressiveness in crunch time moments.
Right.
And we don't have a lot of guys on this team that play with smart end time aggressiveness. The Hardaway doesn't do it. Frank is still young and timid at times, even though he's getting a little bit better, but he hasn't been doing it in, say, the crunch time. So, I mean, I'll give it to Mudiay, man. Like, look, he killed tonight in that Grizzlies game, man, when Conley was killing us. He was fearless. That dunk, I think it was that dunk. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. He should be scared. He should have tried to take a layup, been a little timid. So, look, if Fizzo could keep developing him, if he could just make him better on defense, make him at least average on defense. Me and Ann were talking about, if you combine Mudiay and Frank, you get an all-star. You get a beast.
Yeah, you would. You have a beast.
I think he could be a starting point guard, but I'm not saying he will be. I'm not, on a train like Prince Bub, who called it. But I see enough flashes that we could work with him soon.
Okay, all right. Let me get to Ant. See what Ant thinks about it. What you think, Ant?
I don't want to say, because you made a good point, and I never thought of it that way. About him and Trier being the same age, and that's a strong argument. It's a good point. But I remember I made the same point about Trey Burke when I said that he wasn't a starting point guard because he has no elite skill. And I feel like to be a starting point guard, you need at least one elite skill. Uh-huh. And Mudiay has to develop an elite skill, whether it's finishing at the basket, whether it's being an elite passer, whether it's becoming an elite defender or a good. He has to develop an elite skill. because he doesn't defend well enough to not be great offensively, and he's not great enough offensively to not play good defense. You know, so he has to develop an elite skill, and just getting to the basket and not finishing is, you know, irrelevant. So he may be elite at getting to the basket, but he needs to be an elite finisher so that he can put pressure on the defense consistently. And I think that would make him a starting point guard in this league. So I don't want to say he can't become a starter. Before this year, I'm not gonna lie. Before this year, I didn't have any faith in Mudiay, but he's showing me some things that, you know, I would at least take another flyer on him next year. You know, give him a 2-year deal. You know, see what he got, because you're right, he's 22. You know, he's 22, and we got to give, you know, just for the Mudiay stands out there that says, you know what, he's only 22, he's still young. We got to get that same leeway to Frank too. You know, so, but you know, Mudiay is getting to that point where you can see he's starting to figure some stuff out. So I'm interested to see. He's one of the guys that I kind of want to bring back next year. You know, and see what he can develop.
Yeah. All right. And by the way, Damian Lillard, yes, he came into the league when he was 22 years old, drafted in 2012 after spending 4 years at Weber State. Came in the league at 22 years old. You know, so I think we just gotta put some things into perspective sometimes. You know, Emmanuel Mudiay basically came into the league out of high school. You know, he played in China, but you know, as a matter of fact, he played in China. I believe he got injured in China. Am I right? I think he got injured. I don't even think he played a full season in China. I think Emmanuel Mudiay got injured while he was in China, if I'm correct. Guillermo.
Yo, it was good, Sam.
Mudiay, he got injured when he was in China, right?
Did he end that early? I don't know. Let me check that out, Sam. I'm not sure.
I think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, 2014. Will Bynum as injury replacement for Mudiay. Yeah. And they told 2014 he got injured. There's an article on SB Nation. I wish I could post it to you guys. But,
right. So yeah, you know, like you said, Mudiay hasn't had a ton of coaching in his career. You know, he went to Prime Prep, where they were kind of just collecting talent, didn't even have their academic stuff together. They were just collecting talent to try to build some sort of program. Mudiay, so what I'm looking at, Mudiay managed just 10 regular season games in China, and he returned to action for the team on March 1st, 2015 in Game 3 of their semifinal series against the Beijing Ducks. He played in Game 4 as well, but then they lost the best-of-5 series. So he played a total of 12 games while he was in China. 12 games. Mudiay basically came into the NBA out of high school. That's some stuff to look at, man. That's some stuff to look at.
Sim, am I still on, Sim?
Yeah, he's still on.
Like, you guys got to realize, NCAA, AAU, all those things where some of these coaches are taking money and, dude, it's a business, man. A lot of these kids are not getting any type of coaching on a high school level. Like, you'd be very lucky if you go to like a top high school, whatever, Christ the King, some of these places where it's like they have a system of the culture, you get it maybe. But a lot of these places, man, these kids aren't learning crap. Like, when I watch them play defense, and some of these kids play defense in college, it's even seeping down to college, Sim, where you used to see these guys are staying for 3-4 years, or at least more than 2 years, and you'll see them play in a hard-nosed system. You know, they have, prison office, things like that nature, right? These kids, they come in NBA and they're so young, so you can see, like, they literally don't know how to play against adversity. look, they dominated high school. They had 1 year of college where they did okay. And it's like, if you have a coach who you got to be Westbrook coming in, you got to be this and that coming in. And if not, I'm going to spit you out like Mudiay. I'm going to spit you like this other point guard. A lot of these kids coming in, they are screwed. So I'm not saying Mudiay's going to be top point guard, but I like what I see. So he's more aggressive than some guys who've had more coaching than him. Yeah. I'm just saying, I like the aggressive I see in the fourth quarter. Like, is he clumsy? Yes. He has to cut down on the mistakes, but this is all learning. Yeah. And what if we put Mudiay on the Spurs or whatever, and he does well, and we look back and say, wow, we should have kept him. Like, I mean, like, guys, give the kid a chance. We have nothing to lose. We're not going to playoffs, so just let the kid grow, man.
Yeah. So now some guys ask, what do we do with Mudiay for next year? That's a great question. Before we get to that, since we're leading, we're going to talk about salary cap a little bit. Let's talk about Alonzo Trier and his contract. Right? We all know Alonzo Trier. We're going to get to Mudiay. We're going to bring this back around to Mudiay, so continue to pay attention. All right? We're going to bring this back down to Emmanuel Mudiay. Alonzo Trier just got a contract the other day. Right? Signed with the New York Knicks. Signed a 2-year, $7 million contract. Not too bad for a kid who wasn't drafted to the NBA. Not too bad. And as we all know, Ron Baker was released from the New York Knicks, waived. Don't feel too bad for Ron. I think he'll catch on someplace, and he still gets his $4 million for this year. So, don't feel too bad for the guy Ron. Yeah, he's still getting paid. All right, and big shout out to Knicks Film School, who got the salary cap, nice salary cap information on the website. So big shout out to Knicks Film School. I think this is where I'm gonna start coming here to look at the salary stuff, because I think it's updated with the correct information and the best information. So you can go to knicksfilmschool.com to get this information as well. All right, Alonzo Trier. He's going to make $3.3 million this year. $3.5 million next year for just a little bit under $7 million. Okay. And you can see it's green. And what that means is that there's a team option for next year, which I'm pretty sure the New York Knicks will exercise. But it leaves, having this team option, it leaves, just a little bit of room for flexibility to see what's going on as far as free agency and things like that is concerned. All right. But here's the rundown, ladies and gentlemen, when we're looking at the cap for next summer, for 2019, 2020, looking at our cap. And you know what? I'm going to blow this up just a little bit bigger for us. Okay? Because I know we have some people that are probably very interested. Okay? So we're going to make this just a little bit bigger. All right. Looking at our cap. You can see for 2019, 2020, Kristaps Porzingis has a $17 million cap hold. And you can guarantee that the Knicks are going to make him a qualifying offer, and this is going to, be a big chunk of our free agent money right there. All right, because if you don't make him a free agent, if you don't make the qualifying offer, then all hell is going to break loose, and you're going to put him on the market, and that's not what you want to do, right? Joakim Noah, Enes Kanter, he's gone. His contract's off the books. Joakim Noah, we still got to give him $6.4 million. We got to give him $6.4 million in 2020, 2021. Now let's remember, if we strike out in free agency, we can make the decision to just pay Joakim Noah the remainder of his money and be done with it. Okay. Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to make $18 million next year. Courtney Lee, $12.7 million. Lance Thomas, $1 million. And I think it's unguaranteed. I believe. It's not guaranteed. Mario Hezonja, he's off the books. Kristaps Porzingis, as we just mentioned, a $17 million cap hold. Ron Baker's waived already. He's gone. His money was going to come off the books next year anyway. Emmanuel Mudiay. All right, 4.294, basically $4.3 million this year. Okay. Emmanuel Mudiay, I believe there's also a cap hold for Mudiay if you decide to give him a qualifying offer. I believe here, Knicks Film School is probably projecting that we will not give a qualifying offer to Emmanuel Mudiay. So there is no cap hold. But let's continue to look at, we're going to get back to Mudiay. Frank Ntilikina, $4.8 million next year. Kevin Knox, 4.3. Damian Dotson, 1.6. Trey Burke, 1.6. And that's a cap hold. If the Knicks, give him a qualifying offer, I'm not sure that's going to happen next year, and to be honest with you, in my opinion. Right? I don't know. I think that the Knicks will release all cap holds for Trey Burke. Luke Cornett gets 1.6 this year, which is probably the reason why we're seeing David Fisdale give him a look. Mitchell Robinson, 1.4 this year, 1.5, basically 1.5 this year, 1.5 next year. Noah Vonleh is at 1.5 this year, is not guaranteed yet. Trey Burks is not guaranteed yet as well. Alonzo Trier, as we just said, 3.3 this year, 3.5 next year. Basically 3.4 this year, 3.5 next year. That's a team option. Now, let's just take a look. And then you got the 2019 lottery pick at $5.3 million. You got the minimum roster charge, 1.6 to make, you've got to have a minimum amount of money on your roster. Of salary committed. You got to have a minimum amount. So just looking right now with Alonzo Trier's new contract, if the Knicks decide to give him his money next year, right? They opt into, the Knicks decide to keep his contract next year, which they probably will. The Knicks will have $29 million of practical cap space. $29 million. That's what they'll have next year, given that all these people are still under contract for the New York Knicks. And there hasn't been some kind of moves made. Projected max salary for a 7 to 9 year vet is 32.7. The projected max salary for Kevin Durant, obviously he has KD on there, is $38 million. Right? That's if he gets the max, which he'll get the max. All right. That is, so that's what our salary cap situation looks like. And Alonzo Trier, see, this team option here, gives the Knicks just a little bit of flexibility, right? Because if you have a good relationship with Trier and his agent, you could possibly be like, okay, listen, if you feel confident enough, you say, we think we can sign this person, so we're not going to pick up the option. But as soon as we do this, and this, then bam, you'll get this money or whatever it is. So it gives the Knicks some flexibility, having that team option. But I believe that they'll probably pick up the option next year. But anyway. We would have had about $3.3 million in salary cap space next year. It takes it down to now $32 million. All right, we would have had $32 million. It takes it now takes it down to $29 million. I'm sorry. All right. Now, if we plan to sign a max salary free agent, well, we won't have the money to sign anyone to the max unless we make some other moves. Right? Where does Mudiay fit into that? Because if he plays well this year, if he plays well this year, then teams will probably offer Mudiay. They might offer Mudiay more than we can afford to give him, or maybe more than we want to give him. I don't know. It's going to be a funny situation, and it's going to be because the Knicks are going to release his. They're not going to, give him a qualifying offer where there's a cap hold. They're not going to do that because they want to have as much salary cap space available for free agents, which means Emmanuel Mudiay will be able to go out and look for contracts elsewhere. So there's a good chance that he doesn't get re-signed by the Knicks. Right? There's a good chance he doesn't. You're correct. If he continues to hoop, he continues to ball out, he won't get signed by the Knicks next year. Well, there's a good chance. I'm not going to say he won't. There's a good chance because somebody else may give him some money. Now, unless he just wants to be here and he holds out, but if he holds out and waits to see what the Knicks do, I don't know if that's going to happen though. Right? So we'll see there. We'll see. All right, so we're in the discussion now, talking about Emmanuel Mudiay and Alonzo Trier both at the same time, and their salary cap implications, especially Alonzo Trier, signing this $7 million deal. This is how it impacts our salary cap going into the summer. And then of course Emmanuel Mudiay, if you sign him to something, it's going to take a chunk. All right. It's going, it's definitely, unless you're able to do some things like the San Antonio Spurs would do, right? The San Antonio Spurs were pretty slick with it. You see them one year, they give Manu Ginobili $1.something million and everyone's looking like, whoa, what is this? And then the next year he gets 15, right? If you do something like that, if you can work some things out like that, maybe the Knicks are able to get crafty that way. I don't know. You've got to have something really going in order for players to agree to those type of things, and then they've got to trust you too. Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, those guys, they trusted the Spurs. They knew the Spurs were going to do them right. They knew they were going to do them right. I don't know if the Knicks have built that kind of cachet yet, where players know that the front office is going to do them the right way. But this is what the salary cap looks like right now, ladies and gentlemen, with Alonzo Trier's new contract. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. And there's a very good chance. You look at the players that may not be back next year, and there's Cantor, Mario Hezonja, obviously Ron Baker, possibly Emmanuel Mudiay, Trey Burke, maybe Luke Cornett, possibly Noah Vonleh. We look at all these players and we always say, we want Noah Vonleh, right? Obviously, we got Alonzo Trier. Maybe we want Mudiay back. Where are we really going to have the money to bring these pieces back? Pay Kristaps Porzingis, and then bring back, try to bring somebody in free agency. I don't know. I know there's certain things you can do so that you can go over the cap and those type of things. So we'll see how they work it out. Hopefully they got a good capologist up there. You see the Knicks right now, current cap space, negative $12 million in current cap space. So, the luxury tax is not too bad right now for the Knicks. But this is what the cap situation looks like, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go ahead and take this phone call right quick. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'? Hello?
What's up, man?
What's poppin' with you, my man? What's good with you?
Chilling. What's good? This is Montana, man.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, now we talk about the contracts, right?
Yeah, we talk about the contracts and all that right now. Yep. Courtesy of Knicks Film School. Big shout out to Knicks Film School for the information. Yep. So right now we talk. So what do you think, man? Tell me what you think about Alonzo Trier's contract. I think it's a fair contract.
Alonzo Trier's contract is definitely a good, fair contract. They say he's getting paid. He's getting paid more than 20 players in this year's first round draft pick.
Yeah.
That's what I read.
Yeah. You know, there is some. You know, if you go undrafted, you know, there could be benefits to that, because now, you know, you're not held by the first round draft pick regulations as far as how much you can, you know, you can make in your contract, right? So
the team gonna go off those guidelines and what you score. He's doing good.
Yeah.
So I think it's a fair contract, and I think not just because of the money, because it's a team option, right? And
you got to
even if they don't pick up the team option,
or you got to be solid.
A restricted free agent anyway, so they still have some type of right even then. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now Kevin Knox can relax.
Oh, hold on for 1 minute. Somehow. Okay. All right, go ahead. My fault, my man. Go ahead.
Yeah, and as far as Mudiay, let's just say he plays this season out and he does good. You know, I mean, like, what, averaging probably, like, let's say he averages 15. I think he's worth bringing back, but I don't think he's worth a new contract. I think he's worth the how much you say his qualifying offer is going to be?
Right now, let me see. Let me go to another salary cap site, because I think his qualifying offer is like $7 million. That's his cap hold if the Knicks give a qualifying offer for Emmanuel Mudiay. So yeah, it could be If the Knicks decide to give if the Knicks decide to give a qualifying offer to Emmanuel Mudiay, then his cap hold is $5.7 million.
5.7 million.
Oh, that's his qualifying. The 5.7 is his qualifying offer. The cap hold is going to be like way above that. I forgot, 15 million or something crazy, $12 million or something like that. That would be the cap hold, right? His qualifying offer is 5.7. His cap hold is going to be, something above that, maybe 12 million or something like that.
Okay, so the way I see it,
if they give him a qualifying offer, and then now you got a cap hold of whatever that is, 12 million or whatever it is, now that eats into your cap, which is the reason why I don't see the Knicks giving a qualifying offer to Emmanuel Mudiay. Not that they don't want him, it's just business.
You can't, yeah. I think, for what I understand, I think the first priority is the free agent, because they're going to put KP as last, because KP is not going to go, if they go over the cap, whatever they go over with KP, it won't hurt. You know what I mean? They won't be in the penalty with KP. So that's why they made them wait. There's no way that they're going to make KP go this summer without giving them that extension, because if this is like the last chance right here to get him signed up, to get him locked up. That's why they want him to come back and prove himself. They're not saying it publicly, but I know they want KP to be on that court by at least February, March, just to show the free agent KP or Kyrie something. And it's really to show them that, okay, let's give them that extension. You know what I mean? Because they don't really want to give them that extension unless they see what that knee looking like.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to sign, and I really think KP's coming. You know why? I mean, not KP, Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant is coming because, and I'm going to end it on this one too. I think Kevin Durant is coming because I think there's a lot of pressure saying he can't do it with his own team. And they saying, like, I think he's tired of hearing it, and I think he got enough rings. I think we're the only option, really, the way he can say he did it on his own, and we like the biggest stage for him. I think he would rather go to LA or New York, but LeBron's there, and he ain't gonna be able to say he did it on his own with LeBron. He's still gonna be like questioning if that's.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. I mean, I think it's gonna be I think it's a real long shot that KD comes. You know yeah. I think it's a long shot, man. I think it's a long. Sometimes long shots come through. You know what I mean? But I think it's
his rings. You don't think he got his rings already?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's a long shot. You know what I mean? That he comes, and because one, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna continue to explain. All right.
Shout out to the chat.
No doubt. Appreciate the call. I think with KD, we got to look at more than just KD coming to the Knicks. KD is 29 to be 30 years old, right? So he don't have time to waste. If KD is coming to your team, KD is expecting to win now. KD is expecting to be a championship contender right now. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel. I think if he's coming to your team, we don't have time. If you're going on KD's, his age, we don't have time to say, okay, give us another year or two to develop a couple of players. Because next year we're still in, even though we want to bring in some free agents, we still got a young Kevin Knox. We still got a young Frank Ntilikina. We're still going to have a young draft pick. Right? We still got all these young players that are going to be pieces that you're going to have to put around, that'll be around KP, but they're going to be young and inexperienced and still learning and still developing. We wouldn't have enough money to put vets around KD. All right, you got Kristaps Porzingis, who himself is going to be still learning how to be that primetime NBA player, right? He's coming back off an injury. You got those two things. He's coming back off an injury, and he's still learning how to be a primetime NBA player. You got young pieces that are inexperienced and just don't have the basketball knowledge that KD, I think, would be expecting from a team, at least at this point. Right? And then you don't have the money to put veterans to fill in the holes with vets because you got to spend it all on KD. I don't see it happening. That's just my opinion. I don't see it happening. You know what I mean? I just think that KD is too close to. He's at the point in his career where it's like, I need to win every year. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time to take a step back and try to rebuild because I'm about to be 30 years old. I think maybe the smarter move is, you get your draft pick. Now, you got KP back, you got Knox, you got Trier, you got Frank, you got whoever the draft pick is. I know I missed somebody, I don't know. And then, you start to fill in some holes with some vets that know how to get it done. Right? And you don't spend all your money. You know what I mean? You save it. And then the following year, when someone like Anthony Davis, I believe, is a free agent, then you try to go get him. Or Giannis or somebody, you try to go get him. That's what I think you do. Because now those guys, they're in a closer age range to KP, Knox, and all them guys. The age range is a little bit closer. Right? So now you have a little bit more time for your team to develop together. I feel like if you're getting KD, then you got to expedite things. You got to expedite things. I feel like that. If you get KD, you got to expedite them. And I'm not sure if we're ready to expedite it that fast. That's just my opinion. Not that I wouldn't. Listen, if KP, if it turns out and KP's like, yeah, I'm coming to New York, I'm going to be all for it. Without a doubt. I'm not going to lie about it. I'd be worried that we're not able to, fill out the roster with the type of players that's going to help contend for a championship, at least in the first few years. But I'd go get him. Obviously, it's KD. You know what I'm saying? But I think KD is going to look at it that way. right? Because now you've got to figure out ways to put players around them, and I just don't think we're gonna have that type of flexibility if you're giving all your money to KD. You got KP, yes. You know what I'm saying? And that's a nice duo to have. Trust me, anybody in the league would take it. A nice duo to have, but can you put the other pieces around those guys to make it work? Because the pieces that you have are all going to be young. Just look, Kevin Knox, whoever your draft pick is next year, Alonzo Trier, Frank Ntilikina, Mitchell Robinson, Luke Cornett, if he's still there, Dotson, right? All these guys are still trying to get their feet wet in the NBA. Now you bring in KD. He's got to teach them. So he's going to have to wait 3 years before, is there. So that's why I don't think KD is coming. That's my reasoning why KD is not coming to the Knicks. I could be very wrong on that. We'll see what happens. Caller, you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, what's up, Sam? How's it going, man?
I'm chilling, man. What's going on with you?
Hey, man. I was seeing you making points on the whole free agent thing, man. I agree on every point you was making. Now, a lot of things that people, what people fail to realize about Mudiay is the fact that Coach Fizdale loves him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, Coach Fizdale loves him. And from what I've seen from Coach Fizdale, Scott Perry, and Steve Mills, they all seem to be on the same page in terms of how they want to run things. Am I right? Am I
yeah,
wrong?
Oh yeah. I think they're definitely. I think they're definitely on the same page on how they want to do things. I think that the three of them, Steve Mills, Scott Perry, David Fizdale, they came up and said, "This is how we want to play. This is what we want to do. And here you go, Fizz. We're giving it to you. Do what you do." I think it's basically like that. Obviously I have some questions about some things that Fizdale does, but I think that's basically the gist of it. So yeah, I think they're definitely on the same page.
Right. So with that said, I feel as though it's possible that they can work something out and bring a Mudiay in for the low. You know what I mean? Like you just said, each and every single one of them is around that same age group as KP. And I feel like it doesn't make no sense. Like, because that wasn't the campaign that they preached to us about hurry up bringing free agents in, like a KD or whatever the case may be. It was all about building things from the bottom up and building a foundation.
Right.
So with that said, I feel as though they should continue with those plans in mind. Like, I feel like there was a reason why they hurry up and traded for Emmanuel Mudiay. And I'm not bagging on Frank. And I will admit, I was one of them Frank haters. I will admit that. But I felt as though they got Mudiay because they didn't think that Frank was our point guard of the future. Not to say that he won't be the player for our team in the future. They just don't believe he's a point guard. Okay. Whether me or you agree or disagree with it. But they felt as though Mudiay possibly could be our point guard of the future. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I feel you. I mean, I think you're exactly right. They wasn't sure, so they said let's stock up on talent and figure it all out.
Okay, so if us fans is like seeing the flashes of what Mudiay can do, even the naysayers, the haters, or whatever, if they turn it around, seeing what Mudiay can do, like what do you think Scott Perry, what's his name, Steve Mills, what do you think they're thinking?
I think that they probably feel is maybe just the tip of the iceberg for Mudiay, in that he needs to prove that he can be consistent. Because like everyone said, he's not always consistent. I think they want to see him prove that he can do this consistently, night in and night out. I think, and he's got to prove that. He's got to stay in shape. He's got to show the work ethic. He's got to show the professionalism. If he's not playing, to stay in shape, he's got to do all those things. He's got to do all those things.
I agree. I agree. I mean, I'm not going to say too much more because I feel like you and I don't want to butcher the man's name. I think his name was Guapo, the dude in the chat.
Oh yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to butcher his name or anything. Like, no disrespect to him.
Oh,
but
yeah.
y'all touched on a lot of points. Like, this dude wasn't coached. Like
Right.
He dominated the high school game off of just straight raw talent.
Yeah.
People fail to realize he was number 2 in his draft class.
Yeah.
Behind, what was his name, Jaleel Okafor in his draft class. Like,
Yeah.
he's dominant just off pure raw talent.
Just off
Uncoached,
talent.
Pure
Uncoached.
raw talent.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
a little bit of coaching goes a long way.
Sure does.
So with that said, man, I'm gonna let you go, man.
All right, bro.
Shout out to the chat.
Peace, man. Have a good one. Peace.
All right.
I would have loved to see what Mudiay would have been like if he would have played under Larry Brown. I would have loved to see that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, KD, he's going to be 30 years old. He's actually Kevin Durant is 30 years old. He's going to be 31 September the 29th, which means to start next season, if Kevin Durant was signed by the Knicks this summer, when next season started, he would be 31 years old. You're going to tell me he wants to take 2 years and to help these young guys build? I don't think so. The Knicks going to have to show him a plan of how they can put some young vets around him, in my opinion. That's why I don't think it's happening. That's where I'm at with it. Let's talk about Luke Cornett. Right? Let's talk about Luke. Luke had 13 points and 6 rebounds tonight. I'm glad that Fizz is giving him his chance to prove himself in the league. It's only fair. He's on a 1-year contract. 1-year contract. So, you got to give him his shot. You got to give him his shot to prove that he belongs in the league. The kid can hit threes. He can spread the floor. He can rebound the ball. I mean, he's probably not gonna rebound it like Cantor, but that's okay. Got the guys that can rebound the ball. He can block shots. I want to know what you guys think about Luke. Right? What kind of future does he have with the Knicks? We talked about this last year, but we've seen some evolutions in the way that he went to the G League. He did some good things in the G League this year. Now Fizz is giving him a shot. Does Luke have a future with the Knicks? Tonight, Luke Cornett played 24 minutes. Played 24 minutes, had 13 points, 6 rebounds. He was 4 for 8 from the field. 3 for 5 from 3. He also had 3 blocks tonight. Yes, Luke Cornett also had 3 blocks tonight. So yeah, he can block shots. So now you can have 2 guys out there. I don't know if you played Mitchell Robinson and Luke Cornett together, but you can have 2 guys that you can put on the floor if you're going to use Luke that can block shots, and then one of them can spread the floor. One of them can one day, not this year, from what I've seen with Mitchell Robinson, but one day be a killer in that pick and roll. And maybe it's just that we're not getting the passes to him. I don't know, but we've seen a couple of plays in that pick and roll. Lob to the hoop, but it could be our guards too, not really getting them in good position, but eventually it's going to be there, but between Luke and Mitchell Robinson, you got guys that can get blocks. Luke can spread the floor. Mitch Robinson can hit that screen and roll, run to the rim. Some things you can do offensively. So I want to know what you guys think about Luke Cornett, and will he eventually... Again, we have, salary cap situation when we talk about next year. So everything is going to revolve around that. But can Luke Cornett be a long-standing player with the New York Knicks? That's what I want to know from you. Does he have a future with the team? Let's see what we're working. We got Ron Cleveland. I'm about to come to you, Ron Cleveland. I hope you can hear me. Let me get you unmuted. There we go. Ron, what's popping, bro? Hey, Ron, can you hear me? I'm not sure Ron can hear me.
Ingram is suffering.
Yeah, I don't think Ron can hear me. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll get back to him. I'm gonna come to Guillermo. Gromo, what's going on, man? Luke Cornett, tell me what you think about Luke. You think Luke has a long...
No, I agree. But Ingram is now a guy they talk about, they need to trade.
Well, maybe none of them can hear me, so we'll go ahead and we'll talk to whoever is on the phone. Call you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
What's popping, Sim? This is Davon. How you doing today?
Hey, what's up, Davon, man? We talk about Luke Cornett right now.
Oh, man. I think he did. I didn't really get to watch the game tonight, but from what the stats say, it looks like he did good.
Yeah. He sprayed the floor. He had 13.6 rebounds. Do you think Luke Cornett is someone that's going to stick around for a little while? I think he's going to stick around for at least the rest of this season.
I think so. I think, he should stick around. You should give him some playing time, at least try to give him at least, 12 to 19 minutes, some games, spike it up a little bit if he's playing well. And see what he can do as a stretch five, and spacing the floor. I think we should keep doing that, just keep trying to develop the young guys, see what we can get out of them and see where they fit, what roles, and, see what Mark was trying to say, see what they actually can do really good, to see if they're, caliber players on the court.
And that's what they need right now.
LeBron is more of a spectacle now. I don't think LeBron's a guy that you look at and say, I need him to win. Because the league has proven more times than not that you don't need LeBron to win.
He could fit somewhere on the team, get some playing time somewhere. He could find a role.
Yeah.
And what we should do is, like you were saying earlier about the KD situation, what I personally feel like we should do is keep developing these young players, keep it going. Don't try to look to sign nobody too big. Keep that money saved up for one of our young bucks, just in case they do blossom into something, something big. And as well as, try to, do the same thing like we did last year. Try to find the next Mudiay or Vonleh or, Hazonia that it seemed like, Fizdale was able to coach these guys up and, bring something out of them. So try to find somebody else where we could try to, a little project or something else that we could develop and keep those young guys like you said, that young core around the same age so they can develop and grow together and see what we can come from that.
Yeah. Hey, Davon, hold on for 1 second. All right.
Okay.
Got a little technical difficulty I got to work out. So we might hear some noise of people talking real quick, and I'll get them muted as quick as possible. All right, because I had to restart something. So
you don't do that. People come to you, and even Shaq said that. You the king. People come play with you.
Yeah, and
all right.
Let me tell you.
All right, go ahead, Davon. You should be good.
Yeah. So Cornett played good. Like you said, I feel like he could. He fits good. He fits good playing with Mitchell.
So Kyrie, remember they
stretching the floor a little bit, as well as KP stretching the floor a little bit. So I feel like we just need to keep developing him, see what he can give us, see where he can fit in. Maybe steal some minutes here and there from somebody, and just try to keep the young bucks going, see what we can get from them. Because we're playing well. We have the talent. We have the talent. I feel like, even though our record doesn't really speak for what we can really do out there on the court, because I feel like we got the talent. We just need iron out a few wrinkles in the players and in the system, and get the big guy KP back, and it could all work well for us and go in an upwards direction.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens there, man. I appreciate the call. Sorry for the interruptions.
Yeah, hey, Tim. Did you get my? I emailed you last week. Did you get my email?
Yeah, I did. I had a lot going on last week. I just didn't get a chance to respond. Yeah, but I got it though.
Okay, for sure.
All right, man. All right, peace.
All right,
peace.
Have a good weekend, man.
You too, my man. Sorry about the technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to get these guys back in the chat. Might not be able to. I'm going to try to get this one more time. So you may hear, whoever wolfing and beefing. And if I can't get it to work right, then we'll forego the video chat for the rest of the show. We're coming down to the end of the show anyway, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know if you want to hear these guys wolfing and beefing anyway.
John was going to do that shit himself.
Yep, doesn't look like I'm going to get it going right. So we're going to finish the show out right like this. We'll take calls though. So call in. You want to talk? You want to talk on the show? Call in. Let's talk a little bit. Call in. You're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping with you, my man?
What's popping? What's popping? Is World Wide West calling in from Long Island.
Chilling.
All right.
Yeah. So right now we were talking about Luke Cornett. We about to Luke Cornett got some playing time tonight. Did well. Did his thing out there tonight. 13.6 rebounds. Do you think he's a guy that's going to stick around with us, man?
I think there's a position in the future for him on a minimal contract. You know, he's a guy that he's probably not going to be an everyday, every night player. He's a guy who would come in and you can try and catch lightning in him, almost like a Steve Novak, but like in a lesser role. You know what I mean? From the center position. I think he contribute like that moving forward. But it depends the general roster makeup, see how he fits in, and with the salary cap. But the real reason I wanted to call in though, I know you kind of moved on from the topic, was salary cap.
Yeah, go ahead.
And there's one thing that you forgot to mention.
Okay.
You said that if KP has a $17 million cap hold, okay,
right,
and with that cap hold, we only have $29 million available.
Right.
Now, where you were wrong is that you're saying that the Knicks won't renounce his right to make him an unrestricted free agent. But the way for him to get the most money, okay, because if you look at his draft class, you look at Devin Booker and you look at Karl Towns, they were already re-signed. They already have max contracts. KP's on the same skill set as him. The one sure way for us to lose KP is to extend the qualifying offer. He'll view it as a slap in the face, the same way Earl Monroe did, the same way a lot of players did, and they made him play on their rookie contract for 5 years instead of giving him the extension when he's skilled, is up to par for the full max extension. Now we have KP's bird right, so I believe management spoke to KP. They're already in coordinates, just like you said. They made a deal that they're on the same page. That's why KP didn't riff about this offseason when he didn't get the contract, because KP wants to play with great players, and KP wants to accelerate this whole rebuild. He's going to be going to his 5th year when he comes back next year. So they will renounce the rights to KP because we have his bird right. So even if we sign two players, we can go over the cap to sign KP. So that $29 million becomes $36 million.
But how can if you renounce his bird rights, how can you re-sign him over the cap? If you the whole thing about the bird rights is that you can sign a player over the cap.
Yeah, they're not going to renounce his bird rights. They're going to renounce his.
I'm sorry. I thought you said renounce his.
The cap hold, that creates an additional $17 million to that $29 million. That's $46 million. Okay, so you got 40. So you right off the bat, you have enough money to sign KD, and you have about 13 left over. So what you want to do is create cap space by trading, preferably Tim Hardaway Jr. And I've said this before. On a team with Kevin Durant, and let's just say Kyrie Irving, because I'm pretty sure you heard his comments about how he adores Kyrie's game and how they're close friends, right? I think he would love to play in New York with Kyrie. And the whole thing about everybody saying that he doesn't want to come to New York, I believe he'll come. I think it's likely he'll come to New York or either stay on the Golden State. He's only going to stay in Golden State if they get rid of Draymond, right? And that's a possibility, but I more so see him leaving there to try and blaze his own trail. And we can create that cap space. All we have to do is trade Timmy. I know that's a big feat, but if we trade Timmy, because I just broke it down, we already have the money to sign KP, because we will renounce the cap hold on KP's contract, so we don't just give him a mere $17 million qualifying offer. We're gonna throw that, his max, whatever the amount that a 4-year player can get, along the same lines as what Devin Booker and Karl Towns got. He's going to get a contract in that same neighborhood after we sign our 2 free agents, and that's just basically what I wanted to say.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But now, if they give him a qualifying offer, doesn't he? Let me see. if they give him, because he doesn't have to accept the qualifying offer, it makes him a restricted free agent. Then he can go out and shop other deals, then the Knicks can match it. Am I right? Hello? You still there? Think I lost him. All right. Let's see. We'll look into it a little bit more. Great information there, but I think, and I'm going to do some research on it, and we'll bring it to you, make sure we have all the accurate information. But I believe that if the Knicks extend the qualifying offer, he becomes a restricted free agent. I'm not sure. You know what? I'm not going to say anything that I don't know. I can only say what I believe. We'll see how that whole thing works out. Isaiah, you're on the line. What's popping, my man?
Hey, what's going on, son? Peace to the chat. Shout out to everybody. We talking about Mudiay, right?
No, man, you kind of late. We actually was just talking about Luke Cornett, and then my man called up and was giving us some, some correct information on the KP deal. Before you go, not before you go, before you start talking, because you're probably going to be the last caller. I'm about to jump up out of here. Big shout out to Marty Knicks. He said, no snakes in the garden, talking about KD. Congrats to Mudiay. Let's see if he can score more than 10 points the next game. We'll see. Chester says, Luke has double IQ of Timmy and Cantor. Yeah, you're probably right. Thank you for the super chat, my man. And then Travis Fisher says, Sim, you're the man. Appreciate it. You're the man. I'm not the man. You're the man. Travis,
you really the man. You the man, though.
No, everybody that's watching this show is the man or the woman, because y'all watching.
There you go. We got to be diverse.
Y'all watching. You know what I mean? You guys watching. So yeah, that's what's up. What's going on with you, bro?
Shout out to the Prince. He's the woman.
Yeah, I'm getting on my man Prince. What's popping with you, man? What's up?
Not much, man. Just relaxing, chilling, watching a little bit of the game left.
Yeah, how'd you feel about the game? How'd you feel? You had to feel good about the game, right?
Oh yeah, man. I was excited. I didn't think we was gonna pull it off, man. When Frank and Mitch went down, I was like, dang, man. There's only eight players playing left. And then I thought about it. So I was like, dang, man. Thank God they took Ron over Cornett, man, because Cornett was big tonight, man. Great team win, man. Great for Mudiay. I'm glad he got his season high. We played great, man, except for Tim Hardaway. Kind of sick. I'm really, really over Tim. Tim's just we gotta, if we any way possible, if we can give it to Tim. I'm just not a big fan of his no more. He's just not giving any shot. He's chucking shots and then no defense. Just getting kind of crazy, man.
He's doing Tim Hardaway stuff.
What happened?
I said he's doing Tim Hardaway stuff.
Oh yeah. He's doing
Tim Hardaway is doing Tim Hardaway stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest mistake Steve did, was sign Tim Hardaway before Scott Perry got there. But that's another subject. But Luke Cornett played really good for us. He did everything that you can ask for somebody coming off the bench, shooting especially for a stretch big, and barely playing in that regular NBA game. So 13 points and then shoot a couple clutch threes, some key blocks.
Yeah,
he played great. Nothing more you could ask. Nothing more you can ask for him, man. I'm actually surprised. He usually plays good only against the Raptors, but he played good against another team. So
well, he's been down in the G League, trying to get himself right. So it was nice to see him come up and have a good game like this, and we'll see.
No, I like Luke, man. Luke had a great person. I'll be watching the Knicks stuff when he be answering questions, but he's a funny guy, man. But he seems like a down to earth guy. Glad he played good. We're looking at a discount KP, so I think that we could get a little imagination of how KP would be. Just intensify that.
Yeah.
No, man. The good game, though, man. I'm excited. I hope we can bring this energy to Indiana. And let's win a couple games. I looked at Tankathon. We're gonna stay. The way it's looking, we're gonna be the 5th seed, no matter what. So people better just get that.
Man, I'm not even looking at that right now. I'm not even.
I know, Sam. I know you're not looking at it. But I'm just letting people know. I looked at it, and the way it's looking, we're gonna be the 5th seed. So might as well win some games, man. Get some more experience up, man. Because right now it's looking like we're gonna be a little thin against Indiana unless Tier comes back. But keep the energy going, man. I like this kind of wins.
Yeah, that's it.
I like seeing Michael Jordan cry. It makes me feel good.
Right. Yeah, man. All right. Well, who's your player of the game? Clearly, you got a player of the game. Who's your player of the game?
It's got to be Mud, man. I mean,
got to be, right?
You know, I get on Moody. I get on Mud a lot because of his defense. But I mean, when Mudiay, this is the stuff that scares me about Mudiay. Is that if this is my biggest fear with Mudiay, that he plays good, we give him a contract, then he regresses. That's my biggest fear because, I mean, let's all be straightforward. If Mudiay didn't play good this year, this was his last year in the NBA.
Probably
he would be back in China.
Probably.
Probably. And my thing,
maybe.
And my whole thing with maybe he'll come. Maybe somebody take a chance. But my thing with Mud is that he knew this was his last chance in the NBA, so he's playing hard. I mean, I know it has to do a lot with Fizz too, but I just hope that this isn't just a one-year thing where he plays good so he can stay in the league and then backfire. Because I like the way Mud's playing, man. Mud's been. Like I said, I give a lot of crap to Mud, but he's been playing. He's given a little, at least some effort on defense.
Yeah.
And he's been playing good. So, you know, I mean, as long as he keeps this up, like I said, I'll be happy with Frank and him as our 2 point guards going forward. Because I think they both bring an interesting dynamic. And I'm not a really big fan of Trey Burke no more. So, I mean, he could do what he wants. But, you know, I'm really all in for Mud and Frank going in as the future as our point guards. Hopefully, like I said, Mud can keep us up. At least I don't even need 34, 35 point games. If he can keep it consistent with at least 15 or 16, maybe I'll be fine with that, you know?
Yeah, he's not going to give you 35-point games every night or 34-point games every night. You know, he'll end up averaging for the season, I think, 15 to 16 points, 4 or 5 assists per game. You know, hopefully as a team, we get those assists up, you know what I mean? But
I think we had like 27 tonight or something.
We had 27 assists tonight. Yeah, we had like 27 assists tonight. You know, so yeah, you know, we'll see what Mudiay can do, man. I'm hopeful. I'm definitely hopeful for Mudiay that he can, you know, continue to keep this up for his career. You know, that this is where his career jump starts. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm hoping. This is where his career jump starts. We'll see though. We'll see.
But you know what I'm saying though? The worst case scenario for Mudiay is that he stays at the Prince house. That he's gonna like get out the league and go move with the Prince. That's the only brother in this chat that believes in Mudiay so much. He'll you know, the Prince would let him stay at the house with the kids and stuff.
You be tripping, man. Emmanuel Mudiay, our player of the game. Player of the game tonight is Emmanuel Mudiay, ladies and gentlemen. Emmanuel Mudiay had 34 points, 8 assists. He is our player of the game. We need a sponsor for this player of the game thing, man. We need a sponsor for the player of the game. We need a sponsor for the last words. You know, we need a sponsor for this player of the game. So, you know, if you run a business out there and you want people to know about it, hit me up, man. You can sponsor our player of the game. You know what I mean? And if you get and when you sponsor the player of the game, of course, we'll say your name. We'll put your link in the chat. We'll put your link in the description. All right, just hit me up. Hit me up. You can go on my website and you can hit me up from there. As a matter of fact, I'll throw my email in the chat right now. If you want to sponsor the player of the game, just hit me up and you know, we can talk turkey. All right, right there. That's my email. Hit me up and we can talk turkey. Emmanuel Mudiay, the player of the game, folks. Emmanuel Mudiay. I don't think it could be any other player because Emmanuel Mudiay was cooking tonight. 20 points throughout the fourth quarter and overtime. Emmanuel Mudiay.
He worked Kimba, man. He worked them.
Yeah, we need it from him. We need it from him more often. All right. And I want to talk to my the video chat, guys. I apologize that I do not have you in the video chat right now. I had some technical difficulties. So, you know, I'm not going to have the video chat back up. Apologize, fellas. But I'll get back with you Sunday night. Sunday, the Knicks play the Indiana Pacers. And it's an early game. I think it's like 5 o'clock. Something like that. All right. What do you think about this game?
You know, Indiana, I was watching after the Knicks game, I watched the Sixers and Indiana game, and man, they play tough. They play selfless. They move the ball, and you know, and they have a really balanced team when it comes to scoring. So, you know, and then what's the name gave us so much trouble last game? Was Sabrinas, I think his name is.
Sabonis.
Yeah, the dude that had like I think he had a perfect game against us.
Sabonis, yeah. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they had a lot of talent, right? They had a lot of talent. They, you know, they traded away Sabonis, right?
Victor
Oladipo, so that they can get Paul George. They traded away Doug McDermott, who is now on the Pacers, and Enes Kanter in their second-round draft pick to the Knicks so that they could get Melo. And that whole thing blew up in their face. But they had talent. They had a lot of talent, right? You had Enes Kanter, who is a double-double machine coming off your bench. And maybe he didn't play as a double-double guy there because of his defense, you know, because they got Steven Adams. But he's a guy that you knew could come in and give you a double-double. Then you had a guy who is now an all-star and Victor Oladipo, who is playing with Russell Westbrook, right? And then you had Domantas Sabonis, who, you know, this guy can be a double-double guy. What's he averaging right now? I think he already is a double-double guy. What's he averaging right now?
I think he might be a double-double guy.
Yeah, he's 14 and 9. 14 and 9.9, so basically 14 and 10. They had a lot of talent over there in pieces, and you know they traded it away. They traded it away to get stars. You know, and sometimes, man, you know, you want stars, and you forget about the ancillary pieces that make the game go, make the game flow, make the teams work.
Hey, you know what, Sam? I might get a little controversy for this, but I'm not the biggest fan of Russell Westbrook's game. Yeah. I love his mentality, and I love the way he approaches the game. Mm-hmm. But I'm not a fan of his game. His game to me, it doesn't make players around him better.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of his game.
Okay, the Knicks play the Indiana Pacers at 5 o'clock on Sunday. The Knicks are 9-21. The Pacers are 19-10. They're on a 6-game winning streak. 6-game winning streak, the Pacers. We're gonna have something to deal with these guys, right? It's gonna be a tough task. 106.6 points per game. Opponents are scoring 101.3. They're a good defensive team. Average 25 assists per game. 43.8 rebounds per game. They're 13-3 in the East. 4-1 in the Central Division. You know, this is a tough team. You know, no one's talking about the Indiana Pacers like that, but they're a tough team. Right now, they're third in the East behind the Milwaukee Bucks and the Toronto Raptors. So, yeah, you know, this is definitely a tough foe. You're looking at, you know,
I'll tell you what, though, man, if you're a Knicks fan, we gotta beat the Pacers. You got to.
We would love to, but you know, right now I think the Pacers, you know, they got some good things going, man. Like I said, they won 6 in a row in the Eastern Conference. They are, you know, they had the second longest winning streak in the Eastern Conference behind the Boston Celtics. Let me see, it might be the second longest in the league, and as a matter of fact, it is. It's the second longest in the league. Celtics got the first longest winning streak in the league at 8. Then it's the Pacers with 6, and then the San Antonio Spurs have won 4 straight. All right, you're looking at the Western Conference. We're just kind of going around the league right now, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the Western Conference. The Denver Nuggets lead the Western Conference. They're 19-9. The Golden State Warriors are 20-10. The Oklahoma City Thunder are now 17-10. Clippers are 17-11. The Los Angeles Lakers are 17-11. The Grizzlies 16-12. A team that was once atop of the Western Conference, 16-12. The Memphis Grizzlies are 16-12. The Dallas Mavericks are 15-12, ladies and gentlemen. Portland Trailblazers 6. I mean, the West is deep. The only team that's really, really trash is the Phoenix Suns. The Minnesota Timberwolves are 13-15, and they are the second to last team in the West. The second to last team in the West, the Phoenix Suns, at 5-24. Compare that to the East, man. You got a lot of teams down at the bottom of the East. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I honestly don't think that the Knicks are going to pull off the win versus the Indiana Pacers. I think the Indiana Pacers are hot right now. They're playing that grinded out type defense. If we're gonna, we're gonna need to come with that style of play. We're gonna have to be ready to grind it out and get buckets within that. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I haven't analyzed and really broke it down. I will break it down and some things that we need to do, but it's going to be a tough game, the Knicks versus the Indiana Pacers. But anyway, folks, I'm about to ride out into the sunset. End this off for tonight. Once again, player of the game for tonight, Emmanuel Mudiay. If you would like to sponsor this player of the game, you can have your logo on this graphic or whatever other graphic that comes up that has to do with the player of the game. Have your logo on the graphic. Like, for example, this could be the Isaiah Brunson player of the game.
Oh, dang. You send me up for my whole government out there, man?
I mean,
put the government out there?
I think you already put it out there, didn't you?
It's okay, man.
Well, this could be Isaiah the Chicken.
I just hope the Prince don't harass me, man. The Prince be harassing me, bad. He be sending me bail with bike bombs.
This could be Isaiah the Chicken Leg player of the game, right? And then I take a link to IsaiahTheChickenLeg.com and put it in the video chat. And on my website, I put IsaiahTheChickenLeg.com on my website. And I put IsaiahTheChickenLeg.com in my description.
I'm kind of mad right now.
You know what I mean? So if you want to sponsor it, just hit me up.
Oh, can I do the donkey of the night tonight?
For sure.
It's Joakim Noah. He's the donkey of the night. Joakim Noah is the biggest donkey of them all. I decided to put that out.
I don't want to talk about Joakim Noah.
He's a clown. Joakim Noah's a clown.
Yeah. If you want to sponsor, I just put my email in the chat again. If you want to sponsor Play the Game, hit me up and we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And, get your business out there. Get your business out there. Drive some traffic to your website. Yeah. But anyway, Isaiah, I'm about to head out for tonight. All right.
Peace, brother. Everybody started. Have a good night. See y'all Sunday, man.
Yeah, get my weekend started. Everybody, thank you for joining me. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Wish I could have been there earlier when the game just went off, but I couldn't. I was at my daughter's basketball game and that ran late. Another basketball game. But I'll see you guys on Sunday. Have a great weekend. And those.